Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be coaching a master Baron laner. So they're typically a jungle player, but they wanted to learn Baron lane. So I decided, I'd be teaching them that. And then these are some of the key notes that we go over in the video. I'll have the screen again at the end of the video if you're interested in looking over these notes and just kind of the key things that we went over. And then I did in this session go over replays of some top set players to teach him how to play lane generally, but I can't really show that since I can't react to other YouTube videos or anything because I'm pretty sure that's copyright or whatever. So I'm just going to be showing me going over his game, but this is still pretty much everything we went over. So it should be pretty informational for you guys. And then if you're interested in coaching in the future, just DM me on Discord or on Twitter or wherever. Leave a YouTube comment too. We could figure something out. It's about 15 bucks an hour. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. And yeah, let's just get into the video. I hope you guys enjoy. But either way, okay, let's go through the game. So initially,
You're kind of hard trade into him because I feel like I had healing from my.
it's fine to take hard trades early on with Wukong again, yeah, because of the healing. I mean, I would have been scared that he has like the auto attack blocking thing. Okay, this is really bad. Like,
Okay.
initially, you're trading with him behind his minions, so the minions will aggro you for no reason, right? So
Right.
you don't want to be trading with him like that because you do win this matchup pretty hard early on, and the only thing you have to be worried about is his auto attack blocking thing. But this is good that you traded with Grasp here. And see, what you should be doing here is hitting for level 2 rather than trading one more auto with him again. Because once you get to level 2, you should be immediately Eing onto him because he has a level disadvantage. So like he can't do anything here. You're going to hard win this, especially because he doesn't, again, have his auto attack blocking thing. Once he gets that, it's way harder. This is good, but I don't really know if your intention was to trade with him because he's level 1. I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted to, because I played a lot of Wukong in jungle.
Yeah.
And I know Shen's abilities, so I wasn't sure if he took his taunt.
Okay. That was also bad that you... So, can you re-go the replay or like...
Yeah,
go back?
Sure.
So here, you can pause for a second. Just so the wave is... You can see your current wave, right? Is pretty close to coming. So your goal, again here, like we saw with the set, he wanted to get that wave right in front of his tower so that he could just easily force a gank. And so you leave here and go to ward instead of killing this wave as fast as possible. If you kill this wave instantly, you can crash it under turret, and then you're not going to worry about a gank. But now, cool, you know their jungler's there. But what does that actually mean? All that means is that now you lose a ton of gold for fun because you're scared of their jungle, and he's freezing on you under his turret, so you can't do anything. And he could essentially keep this freeze for like minutes if his jungler camps. If his jungler camps you here, you completely lose the game, and a good jungler should be camping. Now this Shen plays it horribly and somehow hits the wave, so now it's even. So what you should do here at this point is just straight up back, because you have enough gold to get another like longsword or whatever you get with your next item for 500 gold. And you can see their wave. He has more minions than you, meaning it's going to push into you. So you don't have to worry about it at all. You could have just taken a base, you'd be higher health, you'd have an extra item buy, and by the time you get back, you can do what he just did to you, which is freezing under the tower, like right before your tower. But instead, you trade with him when he has a level advantage, and you lose the trade really badly. So wave management is the main thing. No, this Shen is an absolute idiot and almost just died to minions, but... And then, yeah, now, again, if you were higher health because you'd backed earlier and you didn't trade with him level 4, when he's level 4 and you're level 3, you could... Yeah, exactly. You would be helping your jungler right now, and you would probably get a kill. And instead, your Vi dies, so... He gets a double kill, and this is probably... It might not seem like your fault in the moment because you're like, my teammates just got double killed. Obviously, like, that's their fault, but you could have impacted that had you been playing it better early on. So, like, I usually, when I'm playing these games, I'll acknowledge that my teammates suck a lot of the times. Like, I'll be like, yeah, like, they suck. But also, if I'd done that better, I could have, like, covered for their mistakes. So,
Definitely.
And then this is good, again, where your wave is. You want to try to keep it here as long as possible. So you want to be hitting this wave because you see how big it is. It's going to kill your minions really fast. So you need to be hitting this wave enough where it's thin enough where it's still going to be able to stay there but not kill all your minions instantly. Instead, you traded with him. Again, he was level 5, you were level 4. It's not as big of a deal because Shen doesn't get a real ultimate. He just gets his EP, but either way, you could have kept this wave under like right before your tower again, but instead it ends up going back to equal and you're lower health because you traded with him when he had a level advantage. And then ulting here is way too early that you ulted. So he used his auto attack blocking thing. As soon as he uses that ability, and you need to think in general about key abilities that the enemy has, and then whenever they use those abilities, even if they win the trade on you, they don't have those abilities. They're on cooldown, especially the auto attack blocking thing is a really long cooldown. So you need to be trading with him as soon as he uses that. Like again here,
Okay.
if you had more mana, it'd be fine. Again, you're so low mana and so low health that you should just crash the wave. So your goal should be just kill wave as fast as possible and back, which you do, that's good. You should be backing it. It's only, yeah, okay.
I think I just take the plant.
Oh, that's quite bad, yeah. You should just be backing here. There's no reason not to. Again, you see the wave is pretty equal. It's slightly lower health, his is, so. But again, trading with him is pretty useless here when you could be backing. Again, also, you want to pause for a second. Just looking at the objective timers, they're at about 40 seconds. And when they're at about a minute to like 30 seconds, you need to now be thinking more in your mind, what do I want to do with these objectives? And so normally you should have way more gold than you currently have because of the mistakes we talked about in lane. Your gold is way lower than it should be. His is too, because he's also not playing it very well. If you had enough gold here, you'd probably be able to back and get like a better item buy. But either way, you back, you spend whatever gold you have right before the objective. Now you'd have about 30 seconds to go back to top lane. And now instead of trying to freeze the wave on your tower, your goal should be to get the wave under his turret as fast as possible, because then you can roam wherever you want and you don't have to worry about him split pushing. Because as a Shen, he has way more, he can be stupid because he has his ult, so he never actually has to rotate. So you need to make sure you're crashing the wave like 10-15 seconds before the objective spawns, so you have time to roam, because you have to be roaming before him.
Okay.
And so what I would think about here is I would want to go to the dragon if I have my ult up, and your ult is coming pretty soon, like 10-20 seconds. So I would be crashing this wave. I would have already backed, and then I would crash this wave under his tower as fast as possible, and then I would rotate. So it's good that you're hitting the wave a lot here, but you haven't backed, so you're low health, so now you're gonna have to back, and you're probably not gonna get to the objective until like 5-10 seconds late.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a bit of an issue, but it shouldn't matter too much.
Do I even back here?
Yeah, okay, if you don't even back, that's extremely bad. So yeah, now you've not bought your items. I guess since you saw him here is why you want to fight, but again, you don't have items, so you're low mana, you're low health, no items, and this is why we lose the fight. So again, now, another thing, again, the Darius was already strong because of our earlier mistakes, meaning that Darius is going to kill us even easier because he was level 8 when we were level 7.
Right.
So yeah, again, this game might have felt, and it probably is true that your teammates were worse and like played worse than you, but there's still a ton of things that we could improve on and would impact the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And so here we're pretty close to Sunder, which is good. So I would be going Dragon here. So at this point in the game, again, you might want to pause for a sec. Actually, no, you don't need to.
Okay.
But so the way I think about the game in general in top lane is like, you can play it, it's fine. But
Okay.
I think like the game goes kind of poorly. Like this early game goes pretty badly. It ends up going really good for your team here at this fight, which is great. But a game goes really poorly. I'm playing a champion with CC who doesn't have to have gold because your ult is really valuable anyways. So at this point in the game, I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's pretty hard to win. I need to do something to make this game actually go well. Do I care if Shen gets gold? Not really. Like, it's just a Shen. It's like the Malphite example I was talking about. Sure, he gets some gold.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. So I would just be completely ignoring this right here, and I would have gone to the dragon way earlier. And your team ends up winning it, but you could have guaranteed that it's 1 and 1 faster if you just rotated. And you're just acknowledging, yeah, I'll give Shen 300, 500, 600 gold in order to get my team ahead, because I'm no longer the win condition because I messed up my early game and I'm not very strong. So you would want to get gold under your Twitch or under your Fizz. Like we just saw your Fizz got a double kill. He's probably really strong. So your goal should be playing around Fizz as much as possible. So now the way I would manage the rest of my waves, I would shove every wave. I would never worry about killing my lane opponent. All I would do is rotate and help this Fizz. I would shove this wave, I can't talk. I would go mid as soon as possible. And then once I see the top lane wave coming back to equal where they can push the turret, I'd go back there, shove it again, go to mid, and just keep doing that over and over. But instead, Shen, you see, gets there, and what do? You take turret. At this point, this is useless because, again, you're not very strong. Wukong is not a 1v9 champion. You're not really achieving anything here. You're just getting yourself some gold, which at this point in the game is not going to be very valuable on you. Especially we saw your KP. You had 7 KP of like 24, meaning you're impacting less than 25 or around 25% of the game. Meaning this gold you have is only like useful 25% of the time. If you get that gold on the Fizz who had like 20 KP, he's using that every single time he's interacting with anyone, so that's way more valuable overall. Not to mention Fizz is a champ that needs burst damage, whereas you have your CC, so you can be useful regardless.
Okay.
And if you do like playing this way that you're playing, then I recommend Jax or Fiora or Camille or a Hullbreaker split pushing champion, you know? And that's perfectly fine if this is the way that you feel is easier for you to play, but then you're going to need to change the champions you're playing.
Right.
Or even Set, if you just build Hullbreaker early on Set, Set's a great one to do that as well. And he's higher health, so it's less punishing. But at this point in the game, you're still winning, and again, you're probably, you've not really left top lane. Like, you've not really actually had an impact on any part of the map. So, again, here you should be shoving the lane before you back. Because if you shove that lane, you have, look at where the next minion wave is. It's nowhere near going there. And you're going to get his wave to go all the way under his tower. So you have, like, if you shove that wave right there, you have so much time to roam and go help the map. And you don't have to go back to your lane for, like, probably 1 to 2 to 3 minutes. And you could just be rotating everywhere.
Oh,
but instead, you're rotating everywhere. But now they could get the turret top lane if they go. So
yeah.
So again, you should be bot lane here instead of clearing your random mid wave. Your team just ends up winning another fight, but if you were bot lane there, it's more likely to be won. So in general, yeah, it's just kind of the wave management is a big issue overall.
Right, it's not something I'm used to having to do.
So going top here is pretty good because of how the lane is now. So again, you should do the same thing, instantly shove it, rotate mid. That's just what should be in your mind at this point. Shove the lane, help my team every time. Which is what you do, which is great. Again, it could have been done earlier and then we'd be able to do it already, but now that we're doing it here is great, and it shows that you're thinking about that, which is good.
Enemy turret destroyed.
And Shen just used all the... Okay, going further is where there's kind of the mistake here. Because what are you actually going to gain from this? And you don't even fully hit it. So, like, even if you got that turret, does that impact the game? No, it doesn't. Like, who cares that you got the top turret? Nobody does, because again, the win condition at this point is your Fizz, it's your Twitch, it's not you anymore. Your goal is just to play well in team fights and CC the key members of the team. So you should probably be looking at who's the strongest in this game, which is going to be Darius. And you're really good against Darius because he wants to stack stuff up on you, right? Like autoing you. So you can go on him, attack him. He'll get a stack or 2 on you. You use your W, you ult him, and then you get away. So that he gets 2 to 3 stacks on you, wastes his abilities on you. And then you're out, so he can't get to 5 stacks. And he has to find someone new to stack on. So that should be kind of your goal in the team fights because of how strong Darius is. And then it's always good to go on the ADC when you can too. So, I mean, if like pretty much any time, it's good to CC the ADC. You should be running away from Darius. I mean, this is fine, okay. But like, you don't want to be giving him 5 stacks, but it didn't end up happening, so you're good. That was pretty good overall. Right. And like most of your mechanics on Wukong seem pretty fine. He's not a difficult mechanical champion, but everything you've done pretty much is right. Like you haven't really made mechanical errors, so it clearly shows like you know how to play the champ at least. So that's definitely good.
Okay. I mean, I was always told I have to work on how I use my my W more.
The W, yeah. Like on the Darius, when he hooked you, you W'd and you still got hooked. If you let yourself get hooked and then you W'd, it would have been better. But like that's a pretty minor thing. And for me, I'm not super interested in coaching on mechanics. Like, if you asked me to teach you Jace, okay, I would teach you mechanics because I love that champ. But like Wukong, even though I've played like 200 games of him, he's pretty simple. You're gonna figure it out. You're not like you'd be able to figure it out fine. I'm not gonna try to coach you on all that stuff. I'll tell you a small thing here or there. But I'm a pretty bad mechanical player, and I've made challenger on basically every role except getting close to support. But like. It's not that important, especially if you choose to play Set or Wukong. If you're trying to play Fiora or Jace, then yeah, your mechanics are going to be important. But if you're liking these types of champs, just learn the basic stuff. Watch those replays I told you. See what the good players do, and then just kind of copy that. You don't have to do anything special with your mechanics or anything like that.
Right. So right now I should be grouped. I shouldn't be shoving this further.
No, this is good. You should shove it because now you don't have to go there forever. But I don't think the thing that you're thinking about is, cool, now I don't have to go to lane for a long time. You're thinking, I want to get more gold on myself, which you can clearly see with the fact that you're taking his Krugs. Again, it's just the fact that you don't understand what your job is in this game. You're thinking your job is to get gold and carry, but your job is to help your team carry.
Right. I think that's the jungler in me. I'm like, oh, I can invade.
No, I mean, it's not bad to take jungle camps. Say there was nothing going on in the map, I would want you to take that. It's just they were fighting in mid lane while you did it. So that was where like kind of the issue comes. But I get that because no, I like most people I'm coaching, I'm always telling them to take more jungle camps. It's like such a big thing. When I play jungle, I mean, it's huge just taking their jungle because obviously you deny them the gold as well as getting yourself the gold. So it's a good habit to have, and I'm glad you're thinking about that still.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like, I have to kind of learn where to be and when, kind of.
Yeah, I think the main thing that like will allow you to do this without me like just straight up telling you, because obviously I can't be coaching you at all times, is like you just need to really think about what actually matters for the winning the game. And you said you understand a lot of the champions well in the matchup, so that's really good for asking yourself these type of questions, and it's going to be good for playing a champ like Wukong or Sett, where you're more focused on your team. You just need to identify how you're actually going to win. So again, in this game, we see Fizz and Twitch. They're great scaling champions. Your Fizz has a big lead, and Shen is not a champion that's threatening your turrets. So all you need to do is punish Shen for ulting by getting the waves crashing under his tower, and then immediately rotating so that you can still match the Shen when he ults, and so you can be in the team fights and all that. Especially as a champ like Wukong, again with the CP. So. And then like this change, like Wukong and Sett are both champions that can carry with a lead. And this is why I love these champs and why I was telling you like these are good ones to learn. Because say you stomp that lane, like we saw both the Sett replays we watched, they stomped that lane and then they just carried the game and they played it like they were like a Jax or a Fiora, where they just do whatever they want. They go kill everyone on the map, they split push, they do all that. And that's a good time to do this. Also, this TP is really weird here. I don't, like, you were pretty close. You could have just walked there, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was kind of strange. If you want to use TP, it's good for this playstyle I'm talking about, but you can play it more like the Shen plays it, where you can be taking this more gold on the map and splitting, because you have the TP to get to where you need to be when your teammates start fighting. So you can be, also you should be split pushing on opposite side of the objective, so you should be bot lane, not top lane when you're doing this, because you can get more value from TP. So yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't even like going TP, again, because of this stuff I'm talking to you about. I'm getting a call, shit. I'm not gonna take it, but
Middle turret is under
so yeah, I was talking about Gargoyle. Okay, so I think, like, personally, with the thing I'm talking about with managing your wave, you don't actually need teleport because you're pushing the wave so that you're never gonna get punished by split push or anything. So as these champs, if you're taking Gargoyle, you're gonna be infinitely more useful in these fights, because you obviously you have that huge shield. So that's typically what I like going for. But if you feel like it's an issue of yours, TP can mask that issue by just being able to side lane and then just TP your teammates rather than having to manage your wave properly. So that's completely fine if you prefer that. But if you want to get maximum value in team fights, if you're just learning this wave management and pushing the lanes at the right time, you're not actually going to need the TP.
I see what you mean.
But if you go Hullbreaker, TP is going to be pretty valuable. So if it's ever a game where you decide on Hullbreaker, or where you're against a Jax or a Fiora, again, any split pushing champ, that's when the TP is going to help you match them while still being able to help in team fights. So that's when I would buy TP.
Okay.
ally slain.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, people were getting really mad that Malphite was top.
Yeah, Malphite should never be top. He's your support, right?
Yeah, he's a support.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but he's also Malphite, who doesn't split push well. So that's a stupid play by him, but it's gonna happen. Again, you're taking jungle here, which is like fine,
useless.
But once again, the gold it doesn't really actually do anything for you. Also, you're building Sunfire third.
I switched to Amaranth at some point because I felt like I was dying.
Their team comp is all AD though, so Death Dance is going to get so much value because of them being all AD. And again, also when you're building, so you're essentially Sunder, Cleaver, first two items. You can go Cleaver first. I like Sunder first. I think it's better, but that's up to you. But after that, you're just building whatever makes you tankiest, basically.
Okay.
So there's actually a decent amount of things you can do with the build. So initially, if you think the only win condition is you split pushing because the rest of your map is losing so hard and you're ahead, you go Hullbreaker third, and then you just split push. If you are very ahead, but you want a team fight, but you want to deal a lot of damage in team fights, go Sterix or Death Dance third. Death Dance is going to be whenever you're into a lot of AD, obviously. And then Sterix is when like it's more mixed because the HP is going to be valuable against everyone. So yeah, and then if you do go Death Dance third, because they have a lot of AD, go Spirit Visage fourth because it's going to increase the healing so much, and it increases your Q healing. So pretty much Spirit Visage, even if they don't have much AP, is going to be super useful 4th item if you get Death Dance 3rd. And then Twin Guard, I would go like 5th. And you can go Twin Guard earlier, but typically I prefer Twin Guard 4th or 5th. I don't really like it 3rd because I prefer to have some type of damage, whether it's Death Dance or Sterix or Hullbreaker.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is they might have 2 AD and 2 AP, but try to think about who's actually damaging you. So for example, if you're planning to split push a lot and you're playing top lane and their top laner and their jungler are both AD, and then it's their bot lane and their mid lane that are AP, you're going to want to build armor because the top laner and the jungler are going to be the ones actually matching you and damaging you, not the AP champs,
right?
For example.
Right.
And then again, if you're going Death Dance, you can just get that Spirit Visage 4th, and it's going to give you MR as well as the healing bonus. So like that's my ideal build. If I ever have a game where I can go Death Dance 3rd and Spirit Visage 4th, I'm super happy. And then I go Twin Guard last.
I see what you mean.
And this game they have Elder, so it's pretty hard. So your goal should just be stalling Elder at this point, and
surrenders at some point here.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can really do. But early game, I'd say first I would focus the most on your laning. We can count this as like an hour. I think it's roughly. So
yeah,
we can do another hour anytime you want. I would recommend you work on this stuff and then you have me do the other hour at a different date. Like I wouldn't have it be today because I feel like we have a lot to work on already. So I would say try to work on mainly the wave management thing with the play more aggressively, trade more aggressively with your jungler. And I'm going to write out a quick note, so I'll send that to you after. But play aggressively when your jungler is nearby, trade aggressively, play for level 2 when you can in laning phase, like or any level advantage. Don't trade when you're at a level disadvantage. Try to keep the lane towards like try to freeze it right before it crashes under your tower. That's kind of the early game stuff to focus on, is those laning. And then additionally, you're learning some champs newly in top lane. So if you ever have a question of can I kill him there, do it, try to, because you need to learn what your champions can and can't do. So even if you think there's a 25% chance that you can kill them, go for it and just see what happens. It's perfectly fine to lose some games early on to understand your champions, because it'll be better in the long run for the laning phase and everything. And then in the late game, understand what your win condition is. So if you get really strong, that's when you go Hullbreaker. Again, only if you get strong and your teammates are behind. If your teammates are really far behind and you're really strong, that's when you identify the win condition as you going Hullbreaker and split pushing and drawing pressure so that your teammates can farm up and get stronger, and then you can pressure the turrets. And then when the win condition is someone else, that's when your goal is just shove the lane and then rotate and help that person, shove the lane, rotate, help that person, try to protect your turrets, but still try to be impacting the map way more, and then your KP will be way higher. And so yeah, I think that's mostly what we work on for now. And then whenever you feel like you've gotten that stuff down to an extent, then message me again and we'll do another coaching session. Alright guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed that. That was really fun for me. Baron lane's my favorite role, so I was excited to coach a Baron laner. I hope you guys learned a lot from that. I feel like those were really some important things that helped me climb on Baron lane, so hopefully you guys can implement those in your games. And if you have any future content suggestions, interested in coaching, anything like that, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.